get started recording. So, hello everybody, welcome.
Hi.
1 week left, just 1 week left. We got to figure out what we're going to do. I think actually we'll spend, we don't have a learning module ready. So I think how we'll spend the time, we didn't talk about this as a group, but is just doing some story writing, kind of making a plan for this last week and like see what kind of progress we can make, what our priorities are as a team and stuff. So, but before we do that, Ali, you and I didn't really talk about who was going to run demos, but do you want to do that?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Quick question. Shane,
Yeah.
did you just push something up?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Like a update to like the nav.
I was pushing something up 5 minutes ago and it said there was like a conflict or something. So we must have done it at the same time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so maybe Rachel could go first.
Buy some time.
Or are you waiting for Devon?
Yeah, I was thinking it might be better if I wait for Devon.
Okay.
Would y'all want to? Yeah.
Actually, yeah, go for it. We can go first. Then.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So my location services are being really weird. Like it won't return my location, but Caitlin had tried it on her machine at work, so I'm assuming it's like a local issue. So that is like kind of a bug you're gonna see with the nav icon when it loads. Okay, so pretty much we just updated most of the screens to incorporate like the color scheme that we had talked about, and just kind of like made things look a bit closer to the mock-ups that we went over. What I had pushed up just now, Caitlin, was like trying to get the nav button to respond to
that's cool.
the loading icon that we had. But my, for whatever reason, my local host won't return the location. So like it just does this perpetually. So that's like something that probably needs to be looked at on my end. We also did make some updates to like the list page.
Love it, y'all.
Wow, nice.
And
Yeah.
these are still blank, but
yeah, sure.
So
Hey, Devon.
Hello.
Hi, Devon.
Hello.
The contrast on those fonts is probably not quite accessible.
Yeah, that was one thing I think we were talking about. Oh yeah, because we had the background white for a while.
yeah, and then just this one. But then I figured out how to make it like the opposite way and like to kind of like target everything inside of it as well. But these, yeah, the fonts can be made darker for sure. I'm not sure about this one. I don't know if we tested this one, but we could probably make this background the darker orange that we have.
Yeah, I know that when we were all looking at the color schemes together, we did test that burgundy with the yellow, and it was accessible, right? That dark burgundy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I think is on the nav bar circling, maybe.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
That's pretty
yeah.
high contrast. Yeah.
Yeah, we can make it that one instead. What is it called?
That's cool. Wow.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Looks so slick.
I know. Yeah. Shout out to Shane for some awesome designs. What you did that in XD Adobe?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And then there's still like obviously some work to be done to just incorporate the search bar. Okay. And if we want to keep it on the list page as well, but I would think that like this would just come down and like the logo would come up here and then the search bar would be above it.
Yeah, because y'all have the header as part of your branch, right?
Yes.
I think. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, once we merge it in, we can like make the styling work.
Yeah.
It might look cool to move the map down so that it has at the bottom has the same amount of space as it has on the side, and have the button actually overlap the map by just a little bit. You know.
Yeah, I think that could look cool.
Yeah.
This is positioned absolutely, so I think if you move it down, it'll do just that.
You want to give us a quick look at the CSS? I know it's,
Yeah. So Caitlin set up some like root colors that we're referencing like throughout.
Nice.
Wherever we need a color, we just call bar and then like put in the name of the color. I've never done it that way before, but it's actually like really convenient. So definitely we'll probably start doing that go forward.
There's just a comment on that. So there's like these color names, right? And then what you could do is you could make sort of semantic colors that reference a particular color name. And then you could have, things that are like, header color or something like that. And then there'd be one place where you would change that. Maybe if you wanted everything to be darker, you might change it to the dark burgundy instead of whatever. But then
cool.
you see what I mean? Like you would have more semantic names that mean something and those wouldn't change, but then you would be able to just in one place change it to a different color from here.
So change, instead of tangerine, have like a main color or something like app color.
You'd keep tangerine, but then you'd have another thing at the root, which is like, link color, header color, table background, and they might all reference the same color name, right? But then those are more semantic names that aren't going to change deeper in the app.
Interesting. That's cool.
Whenever you want to change those, you just have like to change them in one location. Yeah, that is
exactly.
Because I've been doing a lot of like switching between components, CSS, and being like, where is this actually? So that's actually pretty cool.
Cool.
Yep.
And yeah, the only changes I made this morning, Shane, was I was just going through all the CSS files and doing some cleanup.
Okay.
So it doesn't look like we really had many conflicts. I just got them resolved.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's probably some stuff that also is maybe like double targeting or like not actually doing anything. So I don't want to do that as well. So I think that's cool. As far as the CSS,
can I just ask, is this all vanilla CSS?
Yeah.
Except this little bit of sass there.
For whatever reason, and it's very weird, I guess, to have like two when like sass and then CSS. But for whatever reason, I could not get this to target every div inside of like this class name of map. But when I did it with sass, it like worked. Maybe I was like using wrong syntax.
Okay. Interesting. All right. I mean, you could also move that out and just make it, dot map dash or dot map space div as a selector, its own selector. And then I guess you wouldn't need wouldn't need it to be sass at all, right?
Oh yeah, wait, I want to try that. I feel like I was.
I hope I'm right.
Yeah, I think it worked. It was to make this not to make it round at the edges.
Okay.
Yeah, that did work actually. I think I was using a like an arrow and not just a space.
Oh, right. Yeah, because the arrow is first child, I think.
Gotcha.
Uh-oh.
Cool.
There you go.
So yeah, as far as the CSS, for certain elements, we pretty much just like created either padding or a border around them. Or I think this is probably something I would want feedback on. There is a lot of like calcs in here now. I'm not used to doing more than just like one to like set a certain height, but I think the way that we have certain things set up is like a little weird in terms of like how to target them the most consistently. As I've been like looking at it on my screen and like using the responsive tool to like check, it seems like it doesn't break necessarily or like nothing like weird happens.
Are you wondering about this compatibility of calc or performance of calc or?
Yeah, I guess I'm like, I guess I'm testing it, as I'm saying, like on these responsive sizes, but is that enough? Like, is something gonna like shoot out, or is there like, I'm not sure if it's like fully compatible with like every browser to where like it would not render like a weird result somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's pretty compatible, at least on evergreen browsers, like the self-updating browsers on the desktop and all, on phones and stuff. It's a pretty heavy thing performance-wise, but if it's being done once when you load the page, it's not even going to be noticeable probably.
Right.
Okay.
I do notice that you have the same calculation twice, and so you could move that out into a variable as well.
Oh, this?
Yeah,
Become
and then
height variable.
And then I think, well, I don't know actually if that gets recalculated. I think that actually would be calculated once and then used in multiple places instead of calculating multiple times.
Okay. Do you want me to do that now? What can you describe the syntax for that? I don't really make variables.
So back in was it index.css? Is that where you have your root variables? Yeah, you could just copy that whole that calc thing in there. And make a new variable that's like map height or something like that, you know.
Sorry.
And then just take out the height. But and now you ought to be able to reference that map height variable in the other one.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Good call.
Very nice.
Okay, cool. The other CSS I think that was kind of changed was in the list page.
Really took us a while to figure out what it was. So we had to, oh, maybe I'm thinking of the table CSS. That was where we had to like mess with all the border radius because they were, the table breaks up the image and the information into two. So we had to collapse them together because they were separated before, and then do the border radius just on either side. So that's why there's all the like line 21 through 32 is all the like first child. So that we could set the border radius just on the outside parts of the collapsed two elements together.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay.
Thank you, Stack Overflow.
That's what it's there for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nice. I love that this is vanilla CSS. I just want to say that.
I actually haven't really, I mean, I probably should have thought to push myself to use something else because I only ever use vanilla CSS.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Or Sass. So I know there's a bunch of other really cool tools out there someday.
Mm-hmm. There's always a trade-off though. You know, it's like you have to load some giant bundle of stuff you don't use. B, there's like, just have less control over it. But the advantage is that you can get, you can often build things faster, if you're willing to kind of accept what they have pre-built,
Mm-hmm. So for the accessibility, I wonder, I mean, I think I have like a slight tendency to want the font in every element to be the same color, or the text. So either going like white on all of them, like I wonder if the white and the burnt orange are okay. Maybe we could change the yellow to the rust color, or is it rust right now, or is it all burnt orange? What background color is that orange one?
This one or this one? Sorry.
The second one. Yeah.
The darker one is burnt orange, I believe.
So what if we change the on line 64, change tangerine to rust? Oh, and then just to white. I guess we could mess with this for a while, but I don't know how other people feel. I feel like I tend to want font colors to be the same.
Yeah, I think the thing, I mean, it was good as just more, I mean, I guess contrast for your, just I think without accessibility, but just, looking at it in general, just, kind of honing in. But I think, as long as that's okay.
Yeah, well, I guess we could run everything through accessibility.
Yeah, and also in terms of like contrast and being able to see it better, there's like a few other like weight sizes that we can play with here, and I think this is like one of the skinny. It's just like the default one. We can make it a bit thicker too.
Could you open up one of the disclosures there, the details elements? So something you could also do. This might be a little complicated actually, but when it's open, you could have the insides turn white and have it just have the border that's the color of that kind of rust color or whatever. And so then you would be able to have black text, and you'd be able to have blue links and whatever kind of normal stuff. that we know is accessible. But this also, I mean, actually, this looks great the way it is too. So
that sounds pretty cool too. Like I don't think that would be hard. We have things that are targeting the details when it's open, when it's like.
oh yeah, you already have that selector. Cool.
Probably could play with that too. The last thing that I had just pushed up was
The
in the
help
nav.
page.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, don't forget to go to the help page at the end.
Oh, true. For the nav, I pretty much just like, I think we can get rid of not this whole component, but like the part that's rendering an icon. And maybe instead, this just is kind of like a little bar that shows up with error messaging in the event that like location services is turned off, with like an X or something on it, so that you can just like remove the bar, because you don't need this like kind of like rotating message anymore. But essentially it's just like a div, that same div that we were rendering previously that was like kind of rotating forever, is just placed behind the location pin, like whenever it turns on.
Mhm.
And then to Caitlin's point, the help page, we just added in some logarithm. Probably, I was thinking that the settings page would be the page that explains like what each icon is for and like how the turning on of location actually works. And then the help page would maybe be more of like an about, instead of like, just like a blurb of what the app is for and like how it's meant to perform.
Yeah, the ticket for the help page actually talks about putting in videos that show people how to add it to their home screen.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we can totally do that.
Yeah, but yeah, we have 1 week left, so we'll kind of just have to figure out what the priorities are. But we do have these icons for these pages that don't have anything on them. So
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
we just want to use this sweet vector image, which was the
Uh-huh.
inspiration for the color scheme.
that is pretty cool, I have to say. What we could do if we decide not to do settings or help is just take those 2 icons out, move the list one to the other side of the location button or something. But
yeah, I think these pages could be relatively like low effort, to be honest, because it's really just like us coming up with the text of being like the nav button does this, or like getting a good video of like how you could add it to your homepage.
yeah, I have videos that are made. They're not super high quality, but they would work for the AC. The settings, if we do settings, there's a ticket for one thing you could do is let people select their default sort of landing page, whether it's the map or the list. You could save that as a setting or something. So that'd be a simpler one. The other one is to have the API delay how long it, like between calls and stuff like that, which is kind of unnecessary, to be honest, and it's probably a lot higher effort as well. So if we wanted to have just one setting on this page, it would probably just be choosing your default landing page.
Could you also do like choosing your default location?
Maybe. I mean, you could, if the simple way to do that would be to have them put in a lat and a long,
Right.
but that's not something everybody knows, right?
Oh, true. You're right.
The more complicated version of that would be search for your location, confirm that this is what you mean.
Yeah, this is all true. I had no idea what my Latin long were.
Oh, I know, right?
And like,
I think
I've lived in this house for like 31 years. So couldn't have told you what North Carolina's Latin long was.
easy Google though.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey.
Cool. Well, this is amazing.
Yeah. Fun making stuff pretty.
Yeah.
Rachel and Devon, would you like to
Sure.
show us some stuff?
Yeah, we can. I guess Rachel, do you have it?
Yeah, I have it up right now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so let's go over the code, what we did. Or do you want to see what it looks like first?
It's so not pretty.
We'll get there. We'll
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the forever ticket, but
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
We changed the The service before was the place by query, and we changed this to the nearby search. And so then the request is different. It comes with a keyword, which is the search term we set the other day. Location is based on whatever the coordinates are. So that's going to choose with, now that the coordinates are set up in state, let me move my Zoom over so I'm looking at you guys. Hold on. I don't know how, I'll just look at my other screen. The coordinates now, so if it should update based on when you use your location update. And then if the status comes back as 0 results, it's gonna set the error state to true in console log. Right now, it's just gonna say no results in this area. But basically, what happens is we change the results from just places to nearby places. So we set the results to nearby places. And then, so for example, and then we'll go through the code. So right now, there's no Bojangles, which we were searching for in New Orleans. So if we search here, no results in this area.
Yeah.
But we were doing the Cafe du Monde.
Yeah, we got stuck on that, but
yeah.
So is that just the browser's default autocomplete? Is that what we're seeing there?
as far as
that's the browser's default. That's
Okay.
mine.
Oh, okay. Because the one you did before had several different things.
Yeah, those were
But it's
just what I've been looking for in the browser, this specific browser. It was like Bojangles, Cafe du Monde. We were just playing around.
Okay.
Let's say we go over to the French Quarter, and we're like, is there a Cafe du Monde here? And there's all these different ones.
mhm.
And then if we go like Cafe du Monde mail order, it's a bigger one. That should be sitting in the center, and I don't know why it says no results. So that's something to clear. Okay. Good to know because I hadn't done it in this order.
But no, that was
there. It is recentering. Thank you. It's recentering based on that. We just need to clear that, and then we get back all this stuff about the business. So, and I made it bigger just so we would know.
That's cool.
And what it's happening in the text and the way it's happening is when you do on-click handle search results, we're basically, we don't need to do that. We're looking through and looking at where eTarget.value equals the name. And because the value is being set to the name, and then where that is, we're setting that as the go-to place. And then in map,
Sorry, wait. So, the name that Google's returning, and the target value is coming from the search form, right?
Yeah. It's
So those names are. I mean, there's a high probability that those names won't be exactly the same, right? Like if the user types in something, like say you don't know how to spell the word, but Google.
Right, it's not coming from the input search. That's just the handle submit. It's coming from what the name is on the button based on the list.
Oh, got it. Okay, so those are going to be the same. All right.
They are going to be the same because it's based on the API.
Okay. Great.
Yeah. And so
can you go back to the for loop? I just want to say back up to the for loop. Yeah, there you go. There. So just wanted to point out one tiny little thing on line 30 there. So you have var I equals 0. So that's, well, let's see. If you do let, this is just like a little JavaScript syntax thing. If you do let, now that I variable is not going to leak out of that block.
Totally makes sense.
Right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's like in this case, it doesn't matter, but like if you had a longer thing where you were using I again or something, it might interfere. So
I forgot that the let it's the block scoping, right?
Yep.
Yeah, totally. The var was from it was a copy and paste from the Google, but that's a good ES6 reminder. And so then that one place is called the go-to place.
Okay.
But we can rename. I just
oh sure. Yeah. No, that's great.
And then the go-to place is here again. It's bigger. And then it's the location star field for it's an update to docs because modify it was like a different thing that needed to be added to. It was like the carbon. I didn't realize versus fluent, but yeah. So there's a bunch of still, again, on the search box. There's some like to-dos, like the location doesn't need to be whatever the user wants.
What does that mean?
Like right now it's being set to the coordinates. So it's just being set to either the default location, or if you do it like, if you set your location to where you are, it will put you in where you are. So it's only those two places. But there's a way you could, but it's the Latin long, right? It needs a Latin long. So yeah.
So we can't search for like Rome and have the map move to Rome.
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
We could if we add something where we change where we change the location to where it's like a user input for that, like the way the search term is, you know. But that would be I think what Andrew was saying, we would have to know the Latin long. And so the nearby places, again, it comes with the list, and that I wanted, based on the AC, it sounded like you want to pick what is the closest to what you're looking for. But yeah.
I mean, the simplified version of this story was really just like whatever the first thing in the array that they send back to you is, just center on that thing.
Right.
But I mean, this is a good step towards the sort of autocomplete thing, to have these buttons. There's the possibility that, you know, you might have. Oh no, I guess it only sends you back a certain number of results. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I guess you kind of know what that would be. So you could handle that in the interface.
Yeah.
Sort of like you're doing. Yep.
You know what that limit is? Because I was going to ask the same question of like, if you get returned like 30 places, is it like 30 buttons on the screen?
Is it 30 buttons on the screen? Yeah. I don't know what the actual, like if we do like hotel, I'm sure it will be. And the clear, you know, that it's still set to error. So
I think
we were kind of go ahead.
Oh, I just, like, as you were scrolling through, I think the way to clear it is just set error false on, I think it was like line 48 or something in that file. Because if it returns 0 results, set error true. If it returns any results.
Yeah.
So yeah, put it on line like 52-ish to set error false. I would think that would do it.
Totally. Thank you. So now hotel, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4.
There we go.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Like 20.
And
So we could also just make a decision, you know, whatever fits in the interface. We could say it's only 4 or 5 or something, top 4 or 5.
I was also wondering, I forget if this was a decision we made early on. How many little places are showing down there? Is that like 25 or something, like the little icons? Where do we set that?
It shows you everything within a certain radius. So it could be like, this is a pretty dense place. A lot of places don't have nearly that many, but you know, if you centered on Paris or something, it's probably going to be even more. But yeah, it has to do with the distance from the center. Is
there a way to just have it, I mean, this might be hard too, but have it fill the screen so that you have like icons for as far as the screen goes? Yeah,
I mean, Google has an API for that. Google Maps does. So you can set the bounds of the map to the set of pins or something like that.
Okay.
Yep. We can also play with the zoom level too, the sort of default zoom level, so that it usually matches up.
Cool.
So yeah, there's a few different places we could go with that, with the search, right, for this upcoming week. But again, it's like the API is functioning. It's like still needs a little work, but this is what has been happening. That's
really fun, because this is, you know, I didn't implement search and the last group didn't implement search, so you all are blazing new trails here by doing this. So it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, I guess another idea we were just saying, it could be that find by query and we just do the one because that will be anywhere that it is. I just was like looking at the AC and we were hitting all the points in terms of the search. Like we looked at that last night and we were like, okay, there's an error message. There's going to be a list. When you click on it, it should recenter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's cool.
Yeah. John, do you have anything else you want to say about it, or?
No, I think you covered it. I mean, that's everything that we did.
Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, anything else, Ali, about the demos?
I just they're wonderful.
They are.
I know a lot of work has gone into that search function by everybody. So good job. Excited.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. So let's see, we have 26 minutes left. What's maybe I'm trying to think of like this lightweight process to kind of figure out what we should do this coming week. So we could maybe all list out things that we could do. We could even just do this. Maybe we'll just try to do this really lightweight in the chat. So list out things that are candidates for things we might do over the coming week. So like adding help videos to the help screen, right? And just like, let's just list a bunch of things in the chat, and then we can do some kind of like sorting, prioritizing exercise when I think it up after you put your stuff in the chat.
Add settings, yeah. What else?
Like, is there any refactoring? Yeah, code cleanup, I see. Okay, so recenter button. Oh, so if you drag and then want to go back to yourself.
Yeah.
I wonder if that same location button. No, that location button is how you also turn off location services, right? So
Yeah, I was wondering if there was like a Google, because you know, like when you're on a Google map and it has your location, I'm sure it stores it in a different way, but sometimes you'll get that like arrow icon that is like the recenter button. I wonder if that's like a built-in function for that.
I wonder if we could have been leveraging that on just as a Google Map UI element the entire time.
Yeah.
Instead of building our own.
And I think from, I guess it might be simple or maybe not, depending. Yeah, we've been stuck on New Orleans, I guess, maybe from a more global standpoint. Like if you're actually using the app, you know, like you can't really get into the code to be like, oh, I know it's supposed to be your location, but right now it's just set. So it's like just, I guess maybe making sure that actually works. So yeah, for everybody. Yeah.
Which part? Sorry.
As far as the location, making sure, I guess, just to double check like that, you know, where you are, because if we actually are going to use it, you know, like right now we just been kind of, I know Rachel had used it for when she was like riding down the road and making sure everything works in location. So
so maybe take some time this week to just test it out in the real world.
Yeah, just in general, because
it's a good idea. Yeah.
And just letting you guys know, I just looked up the nearby search results up to, it's up to 60 results come back.
Oh, okay.
The nearby places, nearby search.
Oh, the nearby one. Oh, wow. There'd be a lot of buttons.
What it was. Yeah, so it's up to 60. So I guess if you're in Paris and you look up hotel, it could be like 60 hotels probably.
Yeah, probably would.
Okay, we have a lot of things here. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm almost curious, like should those, if you're searching for something, should those just populate instead of like what was previously on the screen, you know? Like those be the new pins that populate?
Yeah.
Then your list updates as well?
I was thinking that too. Is that hard to do?
To do what? Sorry.
Instead of showing the buttons like on top of the map, like the map kind of resets so that the pins that are on the map are just like what's returned from the API, and then your list updates as well to just be like what was returned from the search. Is that like difficult, or are those all stored somewhere?
Well, the way that the story was set up was that you get like a list. I mean, I just made them buttons so we could just click and see, but it was that you get a list as opposed to on the map. Isn't that the way the story was set up, Andrew?
Oh
I
yeah,
think the idea was just that it would center the map on whatever the thing was that you searched for.
With the
It would just show
the results, or no?
No, even with the autocomplete, like the idea was that you'd be typing in there, you'd get a list of places, and you would hit one, and it would just center the map, and then fetch new pins, new Wikipedia pins. But that's the story was designed to keep it simple. So if we think it's a better user experience to either switch to the search results or integrate the search results with the Wikipedia results, maybe, or something. That's up to you. I mean, that's maybe a better user experience, right? So there's the first thing that comes to mind with that is that you're going to get your data back in two different formats, and you need to kind of reconcile that. Maybe you take the Google data and transform it into something that's compatible with the Wikipedia data, and then you just add it to whatever state you're keeping about pins.
I guess there's a question too of what do we want to commit to with a week left?
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep working on the app after the week's done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So somehow, yeah. So anyway, so we have a list of stuff here. So what are the things that out of this kind of jump out as sort of, are there any things that are sort of must-dos?
I think us probably earlier in the week, we probably need to like combine these branches and then just nail down what we want the like end result of the search to be, and then I think get that kind of like together. And then I think some of the more like create this page with settings and things like that are probably like more low priority, like definitely need to be done, or not low priority, but low like effort, I suppose, lower effort.
I feel like
So,
accessibility is a must do also. Checking accessibility.
Yeah. So integrating the branches, but so you were saying figuring out how to handle the search results. Is that what you were saying too?
Yeah.
Okay. Accessibility. What's the location icon fill screen? What's that one mean? Caitlin, that was yours. Location icon fill screen.
I don't know. Oh,
to the whole screen with the location.
Yeah,
icon.
to have icons everywhere that your screen is.
Oh, I see. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Adding
Maybe
settings,
like a
autocomplete.
zoom in or something.
Yeah. So yeah,
Okay.
wherever that is set, that would be an easier task though, I think.
What about the recentering button? Is that a must do? What's the workaround for that? I guess you could turn off your location and turn it back on.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it's a must do. I think it's like it would be nice to get to. And I don't think it's like I think like autocomplete probably is like a lot of work, maybe not, because I just haven't been fully on it. It seems like you guys are really close to it though. But I think in comparison to that, like recentering is just taking like the user location and creating a button that like sets that back to the center.
Are there any of these things that kind of looking at the full list, you're like, oh, I won't be sad if we don't get to that?
No.
Like things that you'd be okay dropping?
I feel like I don't care a lot about adding settings. I don't know.
Yeah, the list, and yeah, I don't think that's, I mean, if we just have two buttons, that's fine.
Yeah, so we could drop the help and the even though the help is very cool. I almost feel like leaving it in with Laura Mipson just because of the cool
I
graphics.
know.
I wonder if there's a place for like that's to be silly. Have a loading screen or something when the app first starts up, where you show the graphic and then.
Does
Yeah, that's
anyone?
That's kind of what it was designed as, but I'm not sure.
Like the first time you load the app ever, you could have just a little bit of text that says like, you know, welcome. Here's what you're about to see. You know, like the idea here is just to explore things that are nearby you. So dismiss this and get started or something. You know.
Mhm.
I don't know.
We could do
So-
that.
What's the like end goal of this? Like, do folks want to be able to like show this off fully polished on their portfolio pages, or does anyone see themselves like continuing work and leaving the settings there? They could like keep playing with that. Like,
I would love to be able to show this as a portfolio page, especially because we're using both a wiki and Google Maps, you know, as opposed like using APIs. I think so is nice for a front end. I mean, I think that I should have, it might not be in the next 2 weeks just because I'm doing the collab career stuff, but I think I should be able to put in time to do the settings and help if we don't get to it. And like, you know, have y'all review PRs and stuff and not just like add. I don't know how other people feel, but I would love for this to be a portfolio piece, especially because it like can be mobile access and just like various things that I think really speak to our skills.
So then should maybe the goal be to, like, by the time we're done officially, we'll just have like the 2 icons at the bottom, and then later you can add those other 2 pages, but like maybe lower prioritize those 2 things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if the goal is that, then we could definitely polish it up to be like, ta-da, you know.
It could even have something like coming soon or like working, I don't know, something like that.
Under
yeah,
construction.
we could leave those pages up and yeah, do that.
There's some
I don't
great
know
gifts
what
from the
we're
late
thinking,
90s.
but yeah, it could be something that I think could be
Under construction.
completed. I'm just thinking about like my timeline. I think I could probably put in, I don't want to like over because I have actually another project, but I would say like in its, maybe if we like finish it up by next week and then have another deadline, like where we check in maybe like first week of April, like a month, and see what we can all put in those weeks or something. I don't know how people are feeling.
Personally, with the new job and a lot to
Yeah,
learn,
same.
I think I'll probably like be done after this. Although I would be around if you had PRs and stuff,
Sure.
I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. But yeah, but I think it's like awesome if you want to keep going on it. I'm definitely not opposed to like leaving it open so folks can keep working on it. I just don't know that I would be one of those people.
And I respect all of that.
Yeah, I totally feel that. I think I'm like probably on Rachel's wavelength a bit. Like I definitely probably have some time to like continue to build out like a settings page and like
The
a
help page. Yeah.
like because that when I said start on that other project, I'm sure we can have time to like dedicate like 30 minutes or so to the
Totally. And if you even want to like pair one weekend in a few weeks and just see what we can do together, I'd be into that as well.
Cool.
If you buy a domain name, I can show you how to hook it up to Netlify. You can have a
Yeah.
Nice.
That like DNS stuff.
yeah.
I've done that stuff.
Cool. Okay, so I think these must-dos are probably the must-dos, which makes sense. So, I mean, we need to get the branches in together. I guess we want to talk through what we would want the result of the search results to kind of be now. Do you want to spend a little time on that? Like looking at, like even, like I think even getting the branches in, figuring out how to do the search results and doing a sweep for accessibility and maybe a little bit of code cleanup. It's probably a week's worth of work.
It is a week's worth of work.
You know, so that's probably about, like if I had to guess, that's probably what we would get through. So I wouldn't, you know, queue up a bunch of other work necessarily unless you all, you know, like we could, you know, if you're going to come back to this in a few weeks and you want some guidance on how to kind of make progress or something, I'm totally happy to kind of pitch in with that later. But maybe let's talk about like what do we want that search experience to be like when we're done with this coming week?
Okay, I guess maybe what don't we like now, and then maybe go from there. Like what's wrong?
I think
Needs to
if we're gonna
match the design first of all.
Yeah, I think if we're
Okay.
gonna leave the buttons at the top, which I feel like there might be a good possibility we do that because it might be too much work to make it appear on the map as pins, then I think we limit the number of buttons that could show up.
Mm-hmm.
I actually don't know if it would be too much work to put them on that, because now that I'm thinking about it, it might actually be more work the way I did it, because I like had to create where we created like a new state for that, where they could just all render. You know, we could just map out the whole results that come back, because it comes back as an array. So so it came back as all the results, and then we took all the results and matched it to the one you're clicking.
Can I ask you a question about those search results? Are they limited to some radius around the center of the map?
They're limited to some radius around the coordinates. Yeah, the center of the map.
They are. Oh, okay. So you're not going to get, like, if you say Portland, you're not going to get Portland, Oregon, and Portland, Maine, right?
No, not right now. That's with the coordinates, the way we set up the coordinates, it's either going to be what our default coordinates are, which is New Orleans, or it's going to be the coordinates based on where the user location is. And then it's like within, right now it's 500 meters, which we said was like half a mile.
Yeah.
But we get like 1,000 meters we looked up is like about a mile, or it's like 1,070 or something. We could also go back and use the find place from query, which would return just the one result anywhere in the world that's the closest, right? So like that
was more my intention with it, was that you would be able to like say I'm planning a trip to Azerbaijan or something. I could just like type that in and jump the map over to that part of the world.
Sure. No, we can.
And that was what I was going with it. What I was mentioning about as far as the real world, I guess there.
Was I just like missing the AC for the search thing, or like confused?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I probably didn't. I probably wasn't very specific about that.
Because I feel like the way I was looking, it looked like it needed to be a list that came back that you tap, because that's what we had at first, but it was just one result. Right,
but remember we pulled all that stuff out into a separate ticket. So really, you should have been maybe looking at just the new split ticket.
I had no idea where the separate ticket was. Is it in the board? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is the board.
Here, I'll show you. So remember after last, I'm just not going to update, but after last week, I went through and I split out 15 and created 25. So allows users to search for a location is really just about a single location, and you hit enter and it just jumps you to wherever that is. And then the autocomplete is a separate one where we would switch to the nearby API and give them a list to choose from, and they would pick one of the locations.
But in the search for a location, when you click on that ticket,
is it updating for you? Is it open now?
Yeah.
I didn't. It is okay. I didn't share my screen the right way, so I wasn't sure if it was updating.
I just was looking at the AC. Oh, that's not what I have. What?
I updated this a week ago. I don't know if you've refreshed that page since then. Maybe it's.
Why isn't it being refreshed? I'm confused.
You're on 15, on the ticket 15.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me see what's happening. I just refreshed. Well, that just feels. Yeah, now I see it as you're refreshed. I guess it wasn't refreshed.
Okay.
So when we were looking at the AC last night, yeah. Okay. I feel a bit silly.
Oh no, you're all right. I just thought you were kind of working ahead a little bit.
No, it went back to the other one. There's something happening with my thing.
Huh. like it's caching stuff or something.
Yeah, when I click on it, like when I click on the acceptance criteria, it goes back.
Huh.
I don't understand.
Well,
So
Oh, maybe you accidentally started. Maybe you accidentally started to edit it or something. So Jira, if you edit,
and
it
then
will
it's
keep
saved.
it keeps a copy of whatever you're
Whoa,
editing.
this is like wild to me because I was reading through the AC. Okay, I guess I must have like clicked on it and it thought I was editing it, and then it saved that.
Uh-huh. Yeah, Jira is a barrel of monkeys.
Wow, I'm like blown away right now because I'm like, I'm sure it was refreshed.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so I think the find place from query and the reset, that is what our branch looked like the other day. So we can revert. Do you know what I mean? Like we have that functionality working. That's what we got during office hours. So if that's what we want to do and we want to just jump to the first place, all we really need to do is add the error messaging.
Is that what the group wants to do in terms of like what do you want that search experience to be like at the end of this coming week? Because we might want to save some of the stuff you did since then.
yeah. Are you saying it's one or the other?
No, they could be two different things. You could do a search nearby or search anywhere in the world because we have all the code for it. It would just be a different button to integrate. So that's also something that could be. You could be like search for locations nearby and like a list, which doesn't necessarily have to be buttons, but some sort of clickable list will be there. Or you could be like search anywhere in the world and one result will come back that will recenter you. And we have all that code.
One result though?
Yeah, it's just the one result, right? Or
yeah,
not.
that was, so in an effort to keep this ticket simple, the idea was that you would, whatever they searched on, it was like a, I feel lucky button on Google or something, right? Where you just, like whatever that top match is, it would just jump you wherever in the world that was. And then the autocomplete was going to be, as you're typing, it would show you a list of places that you could then, and actually the intention for that too was not to bound it by within a certain, like within the, by sort of where the current center was, so I could type in Portland and potentially jump to Portland, Maine. Like it'd be like kind of a shortcut, a way to jump around the world a little bit if you kind of knew a place name or something.
I see.
Is it possible with that API to not specify the center? Or does it have to know the center?
For which one? For the find nearby?
Nearby, yeah. I guess nearby kind of implies that it's near.
Yeah, it does. You need either like a Latin lot bounds, or like you can put in actually a place name because I think the other requirement is the radius. It needs to be between like 0 meters to 50,000 for that specific API call.
Okay, so that might not have worked anyway. So again, what do we want the search experience to be for the users? Like from a user's perspective, what they get in there, they type something into the box. What would you as a user expect how that would work, or what you would want it to do?
I think I would personally expect nearby.
Yeah, I was about to say the way that like right now, if I want some pizza, like I want to know what's the pizza places nearby, which would be for it to be a really, really engaging, useful tool.
Yeah, I feel like just thinking about my use of Google Maps, 95% of the time when I'm using it, I'm searching around me, and then 5% of the time I'm like, ooh, I want to go to Paris. But I think that's a lot less of a use case for me.
True.
But this whole app is about exploring like the Wikipedia entries around either you or a place, right? So what if the search field was more like maybe the placeholder text or a label on it was, jump to a place or something. You know what I mean? Like,
you mean having the ability to do both?
No, I'm saying like, what if that, like, it's like if we're trying to encourage exploring, like maybe it says jump to and then has a field, and inside the field maybe as a placeholder text it says, for example, Turkmenistan or something, right? Just to kind of set the expectation that you use that to jump around the globe to find things.
I still agree a little bit with what was just said about, I have this idea of like, you have your phone and you're
Mhm.
walking around and you want to see, yeah, if there's pizza nearby or if there's a coffee shop nearby, because the Wikipedia is not necessarily going to give you that. Or if there's, yeah, just something like that, maybe in addition to jump around the globe.
Yeah, or we, you know, we only have a week,
I
so
just
we
feel like that
prioritize
could
one
be a
use
good-
case for the other. Yeah. I'm not wed to that idea.
know.
I just, that's kind of what I would want from this, I think, myself, but also I think it's super valid, like what you're saying about, like, you know, if I'm walking around New Orleans and I want a coffee, like,
Right. We're like, I want beignets. Where's the best beignets? Oh, there's 20 right
Oh.
here. And that's what we're
Oh yeah, we got yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there will be, yeah, that's for sure.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Shane?
it is interesting to think about because it's like realistically, like, are we trying to use this app in the real world? Are we going to replace Google Maps? Probably not. So do we want to focus on a slightly different
Mhm.
use case than Google Maps already does?
Right.
Or
If I
do we
were
want to be
walking
like,
around,
yeah,
if I were walking around New Orleans, I wanted a coffee, I'd pull out Google Maps and do it that way, right?
or Yelp?
Or Yelp
Yeah.
or something, yeah.
Well, also too, this is a project to learn how to implement maps. So I think you know, having something fun to be like, hey, this is really functional. Obviously, it's not the end all be all, but you know, be like, hey, this is a technically real project that you can, if you want to, search something. But yeah, obviously, it's not Google or Apple.
So how do we
Anybody else?
pick?
Yeah, good question.
Should we
Yeah,
vote?
Shane hasn't said anything in a long time. I just want to point that out.
I feel like very on the fence, and I hate when I feel that way because I feel very. But they both sound like good use cases. Like I get the original, like it's called Explore Your World, and so like the world obviously seems like the bounds of what that would be. But also it is kind of like, yeah, I could see you using it and wanting to like find places nearby. I mean, I probably would use Google Maps for that too, but I mean, I think everybody in the world is programmed to use Google Maps for like anything location. Right. So I think, I don't know, either one could work well. I think honestly though, like the decision probably falls on like technically, and I know Rachel and Devon, I feel like you've been the most involved with like this functionality. Like, what do you think would be like doable in a week, or like
I think they're both doable because all that really needs to happen is if we're doing the find place from query, we just really need to add an error state and then have it render, and you can use the rendering, the same sort of type of rendering from this branch. And then, yeah. And so I think they're both doable. I think they're even possibly doable together. It just would be a little bit of looking at some older branches and, you know, putting it all in the right component. Yeah. So the find place from query would be like, I mean, if we wanted to hit the AC of this ticket, which is the real ticket, not this fake ticket that I had cached, which I'm still like, what's with me and search? Like, it's just been kind of fun to me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you've been in this world for a while now.
No, I just think I don't know. I'm into astrology and Mercury has been in retrograde and that feels very on point for what's been happening because communication is kind of thrown out of whack. So that's, you know, it just went direct yesterday. But I think that, yeah, I think all we would really need to do for that find place from query for this ticket to be complete is it's just two things. It's like render the icon, add an error state, and I think that can be done in literally like 30 minutes of pairing.
I mean, the actual AC is not to add an icon. The AC is just to center the map on the location.
Okay, it can do that. I just thought an icon looked good when you are recentered. But.
Yeah, because the thing about adding an icon is then we're starting to mix those worlds of Wikipedia and Google results, right? Whereas if we just center on the map, if it's a way to jump around.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's totally up to the team too. You know, like if you all, I like the find nearby and just the exercise of taking the Google search results and trying to massage that data transform it into a format that matches the Wikipedia data. And then you just add those pins to state, and then you have like just a richer result set too, you know, like that's kind of a fun idea. I think that's like, you're pretty close to being able to do that now with, like, you're rendering buttons instead of pins. So you just need to do a transformation of the data and just add it to the set of pin data.
I
Add
feel like
a set of pin data or replace the set of pin data?
I think it would be a better user experience to add it, so you don't lose the Wikipedia ones. But again, that's up to the team. Yeah.
I think that my only request would be that we merge in the search branch ASAP, and then if for the additional work we create a new branch, because it's been a while that branch has been out in the world. And so like getting it merged in, then someone could work on like cleanup and visually integrating stuff and accessibility, and maybe the other team could pick a search route. So
yeah, that's smart.
Yeah.
That might be something that the team should do together.
What are the
Get
teams?
that
this
those
week?
merged.
Am I with Caitlin?
I think it's
you would-
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's probably me and Shane and Caitlin and Rachel. But yeah, at this point, we're all one team. Oh yeah.
One dream.
do the tickets on the board give us what we need to do this work? Probably not for the new things, right? The accessibility, but I guess actually maybe for the search, we can use this existing ticket 15. Is there work that needs to be done before we consider this in review?
Wait, which one is? Sorry, I'm still a little confused. Would it go back to the initial find place from query? Yeah, you just have to add the error state, and then it can go into review.
Okay, so there's a little bit of work left to do.
Isn't the error state's already there?
That's in this most recent branch where it's nearby search, but not where it's find place from query. But
So
yeah,
I think my hope is that we could just like kind of stop where we're at and get it merged in case. I mean, if you think find place from query is really going to be super fast, I just am nervous that we won't get everything merged till later in the week, and then there won't be as much time to get it integrated.
So let me make a suggestion. So what I would do is I would, like Caitlin's saying, like get what you have now merged, but that's actually more complicated than it sounds, because there's like styling and a bunch of other things that would have to happen, right? So what I would suggest as an end state is more kind of what y'all were talking about in terms of, you search for something, you get a set of things back from Google, and that the end, what we're going to shoot for is adding pins to the map based on those results. So transforming the data a little bit into the other format, adding it to state, just having more pins on the map than Wikipedia provides by itself. Then we don't have to revert the branch and do more work before we can merge. We can probably get to the merge a little faster, but I do feel like maybe y'all should work together on that merge, because just the styling work, you're gonna probably need to take some shortcuts with the styling just to get the branch merged and then fix it up after the merge. You know what I mean?
So you imagine us doing some styling on the search branch instead of merging that and then merging and then pulling that into the style branch?
What I would probably do is merge the style branch into main first, like get that merged into the main, and then bring the search branch into main as well. Like get main back into a good state.
Cool.
Okay.
So everything goes into review now, basically, kind of.
I think so. Yeah. Unless, I mean, was there more that you wanted to do with 28 before you went to review? Or are you sort of ready to review there?
I think it's
good for review.
Yeah. So let's get that one moving with reviews and stuff today, and then try to get it in, and then so then next we'll try to get the search merged in after that. And whoever can kind of get together and work on that together, I think would be probably a good idea. So we agree on what I was saying and my suggestion about where we want to end up with the search functionality?
Can you just go over that one more time so I'm like clear? I just
yeah. So much like what you have, the search functionality you have now, like there would be no buttons, but the using the same API that you're using, you get a list of results back from Google. You take the data from Google, transform it into the format that matches the Wikipedia data, add it to state. So you have just Wikipedia data and Google data all in there together. And that's kind of it. Then people can interact with those pins like they normally would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Rachel, do you want to stay on this search functionality, or are you ready to
I
like
mean, I'm fine.
throw it in the trash? Okay.
I'm kind of like neurotic about having it be the way it's supposed to be, especially now that I realize that it was reading the older AC. Which I blame on Jira, by the way.
Oh, I totally blame that on Jira.
I'm
Jira,
like, what?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, why are you doing this? At least they could do it like with VS Code. You know, when you like have something in VS Code, it will either be like deleted or like edited, and it lets you know that that's no longer the right thing.
This is how developers learn to never, I don't ever want to type anything into Jira. You know, like developers get afraid of Jira because it does weird things like this.
I see.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Um,
Are you fine with Caitlin doing search stuff?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So, Ali, could you create threads for these? And so yeah, so Caitlin and Rachel will be on 15, and Devon and Shane on 28 for now. And then, like, I guess if you're gonna spend some time on accessibility or something, maybe just throw a card onto the board, and then move it through as you do that work, or code cleanup or whatever else you're gonna do. Is that cool? It's okay to hit the create button. I promise.
And I think that once the search is in, that would be a great thing to use real world testing in, like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, cool. Is that a plan?
Yeah, sounds great.
All right, awesome.
Office hours this week.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I could do them since Ali, you did them last week.
Right.
What day would be good to check it? Maybe Wednesday? Would that work for people?
Yeah, Wednesday works for me.
I know we have the talk
know.
on Wednesday, right?
We do, yeah.
From 8.
Could we do you want to do early on Wednesday?
We could do earlier on Wednesday if that.
What's earlier?
For Caitlin.
Well, I don't know if Caitlin wants to be on a call at 8 in the morning, but
8 in the morning. I
I
can't do 8 in the morning.
8 in the morning Pacific, which is
but still, 11 will
11.
I amazingly have work calls super early in the morning this week because our sister team is based in Amsterdam.
Right.
Yeah, trust me, I know that.
Okay, we could also do a later one. So we could do, let's see.
Tuesday
The Tech Talk is it?
For me
Wednesday does?
No, I said Tuesday because of the Tech Talk.
Tuesday.
I don't know
I
if
see.
Tuesday works for anyone else.
Could we do 2:30 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday?
That works for me.
5:30 Eastern?
That works perfect for me.
I
On
may
my
or
end,
may
yeah.
not,
on my end. Yeah.
but yeah.
What's your schedule, Caitlin?
I just don't super feel comfortable taking time off in the middle of the day yet, I guess.
Yeah,
but also if I happen to have some downtime, I could hop on. I would just say like, go for it. And I will try and at least pop in for a bit.
Shane, does that work for you, or
yeah,
would it be better? Yes, okay. All right, let's do that.
My old job, I would have been like, sure.
Yeah.
Understood.
No.
You just started.
Yeah.
Are you going to
Cool.
send out a meeting invite for that, Andrew?
I am.
Okay.
And here it comes. All right, cool. All right, nice work, everybody. It's really coming together, and like a week from now, let's try to get it to where it's a great portfolio piece for y'all.
Good.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. All right, guys.
Cool.
Have a
All
good
right,
one.
have a good rest of your day.
Have
See
a
you
good
later.
day.
Thank you.